Hi, Democrats. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. I can't believe that November's already over. So that I was going to finally talk about Lincoln Riley. Now, let me tell you this. I don't care about football. I don't care about college football. I don't care about pro football. Don't care about pee-wee football. Don't care. However, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. And little bit of known fact, I went to OU. And so, everybody thinks I should care. So I found a way to care. I found a way to care, and I found a way to talk about it. As I watched my Facebook and Twitter feed light up, and as I had conversations with people all over the place, and that's all anybody wanted to talk about, and I just, couldn't work up any care. But what it reminded me of is our local government. His decision and the swiftness in which he made the decision and made the move and swooped up all the folks to take with him reminded me of the chaos that is the Oklahoma Republican Party. When it doesn't seem like we have a plan, or we're only a couple of people are in on the plan, then all of a sudden we drop it on folks. That reminded me of the chaos that is our local government. Clearly, he'd been working on a plan because he had enough time to negotiate a deal for himself and negotiate a deal for all the folks that went with him. But the community that cares about it didn't know, and they're losing their freaking minds. And so I want to bring it back because I'm the political girl. I want to bring it back, and I want to talk about how this relates to us. He did a press conference and he said he made the decision. He hated to leave OU, but he made the decision that allowed for more opportunity for him and his family. And then the guy who's running for state treasurer, thought he was being cute and clever. And he tweeted, that don't feel too bad for Riley Coach Riley, because now he's going to have to pay a whole bunch of taxes. And I guess maybe that's a thing to brag about. But what I heard is that the guy who's running to be our state treasurer, Clark Jolly, the guy who's running to be our state treasurer is perfectly fine with folks who make a whole lot of money not paying their fair share of taxes. He's perfectly fine knowing that when folks who make a lot of money don't pay their fair share of taxes, they're actually defunding education. And as a Democrat, I care that there's well-funded education, well-funded schools at every zip code. And so him bragging about the fact that Coach Riley is going from $255 plus a percentage over a dollar amount in his state to $58,000, all I could hear is, oh my gosh, they're funding education in California, where they're not funding education here. So the takeaway, football, sports ball. The takeaway is that not only are our current existing legislators not willing to fund education, but folks who are running to run our state as a state treasurer isn't willing to fund education. He's perfectly fine to let someone who makes $1 million a year pay $255 in taxes. This is our future. This is our future that we have to care about, and we have to care about it all the way around, not just when I'm talking at you, but we have to care about it all the way around. And if we're okay with the 1% not paying their taxes, knowing that we are dooming our education center system to being defunded, we have more problems than our governor picking fights with the tribes on all different levels and picking fights with the military leaders of our nation. That stuff makes me angry, but it's just a piece of it. We have a big problem because we've made a conscious decision, a conscious, deliberate decision not to fund education. That's my takeaway from Coach Riley going to USC, because I don't have kids at OU. Maybe that's why I don't care. I don't have kids in the football program at OU nor at USC. But what I do have is a plan to spend out my old age in Oklahoma, and I would love it if the folks be overseeing the state have been educated and have had a proper education. And it seems to me that we're doing everything we can to make sure that that is not what happens. So I'm gonna bring it back to what I always talk about. And you're right, Regina. We got money, and the first thing the governor did was we got money from the federal government for education, and the first thing the governor did was scoop out a big heaping portion for private schools. So again, they're looking out for the 1%. They're looking out for the haves, and you don't realize that we all, whether we're a have or have not, it works very well when we're all taken care of. It works very well when we all have opportunity. And if we're just carving out opportunity for the haves, there are going to be fewer and fewer haves. So I'm going to bring it back to what I always talk about. We have to be paying attention to democracy all the time. We have to be looking around these little decisions. I don't blame Coach Riley for taking advantage of the tax loopholes that were available to him. I don't blame him. I'm not mad at him for advancing in his career. I know I've had more than one job in my lifetime, and okay, if he decides to go for another job, that's perfectly fine. I'm mad that we know that the 1% in our state isn't paying enough taxes. They're not paying their fair share. And we know by them not paying their fair share, we are defunding education, and we don't seem to care. When I say we, I mean the majority party in our state who is in the position of the decisions here. And so I put this squarely at their feet, that they've made a conscious, deliberate decision to defund education. And I thank Coach Riley for giving me an opportunity, an excuse to talk about it. Now, my friends saw that I was going to talk about Coach Riley and I was going to talk about OU football. And so you guys expected me to say sports things. I got none. No sports things over here. No sport. I do know football. I just don't care. So really what I want you to focus on is picking a candidate to support, and make sure that make sure that candidate cares about properly funding education throughout our state. That's a big deal. It affects even those of us who do not have children in the school system, because those are the people who will be making decisions for us. And we want kids to have a decent education so that they're not on the streets, so that they can get jobs, so that they can avail themselves of all economic opportunities. The only way we do that is by funding education. So find a candidate to support, make sure that education, grill them, vet them, make sure that they care about education, and then support them with your time and your money. All righty, I'll make it short. You guys, thanks for joining me, and I will be back here tomorrow at 4:15.